Hello everybody. Hello. Yes, I am pajamas. I'm in pajamas. Usually I go to my grandma's on Fridays for tea. But basically, since it's Easter break, my manager booked me in for a shift today this morning, and then we went to my grandma's for lunch. And then my grandma was like, "Oh, do you want some tea? Do you want some tea?" And I was like, "What are you having? And she was like, "Spaghetti bolognese." And I was like, "I've kind of gone off spaghetti bolognese, not gonna lie." So I was just like, "Nah, I just have lunch at Dad's." So, not lunch, tea. We had a cheese and ham toastie at my grandma's. So my sister, we went to Tesco first, cause my sister wanted to buy her boyfriend an Easter egg. And then we got on. I did some revision on perception. Not gonna lie, I could not tell you. I could not tell you anything from perception without. Was it perception? Yeah, I could not tell you anything from perception. Shit. I could not tell you anything from perception without getting my notes up. Because, like, I could write down some stuff probably, but my brain does not think like that. My brain cannot verbalize stuff. And I think I just need to, like, maybe get together with, like, some friends or, like, some other people I know from my course, from my class, from my Cog and Bio class, from my Cog and Bio module, and just be like, "Hey, how about we just all revise together, book a group study room for like an hour or two." I think you can only book the group study rooms for an hour, I'm pretty sure. But we'll just have to see. See. But yeah. So okay. So you know what's funny about today? You know what kind of infuriated me about today? So, I was at work, right? And my grandma called me and texted me saying that at 11:30, and I was in from 8:30 to 12:30. And my grandma called me saying "Hey, yeah," she called me. Obviously, I didn't pick up because I'd left my phone in the staff room. Mainly because I don't have pockets on my work uniform, so I couldn't have known she was calling me. And also, we're not really allowed to have phones out, which is pretty normal for a work environment. But yeah, so she texted me saying "Oh, your sister's gonna pick you up," and obviously I didn't read the message until I had finished at 12:30. So there was no and my sister was already there, so there was no so I couldn't tell them "Oh, I'm pretty sure my dad is picking me up." So, and I didn't see, and when I got out, when I saw the message and I got out, I didn't see my dad's car, so I assumed that my grandma had already told him "Hey, Holly's gonna pick him up, pick her up. Holly's gonna pick him up." So I was gonna say, so your sister is gonna pick you up, and from work. I was gonna say, I had assumed that my grandma had told him that "Hey, your sister's gonna pick Poppy up," and then, but she didn't say anything. But I had assumed that she told him, but she didn't. So I had, because I didn't see my dad outside, I was like, okay, I'll go get in my sister's car. So anyways, we were driving home from work. My sister was driving us home. Well, driving us to our grandma's from my work, and my dad texted me saying outside, and I was like, wait, does he not know that my sister picked me up? So I tell my sister hey, dad just texted me saying that he's outside my work. And my sister was like, "Hey, connect your phone to the Bluetooth system. It was not Bluetooth. Connect your phone to the radio system at because her car has a thing where you can play like phone calls and music through the car speakers. So she was like, connect your phone and call dad. So yeah, so that's what I did. I called dad and I was like, hey, did grandma not text you saying that like sister was picking us up and sister was picking me up? And he was like, no. And he was like, why didn't you tell me, Poppy? Why didn't you tell me? And I was like, because I didn't know until I got out of work, because obviously I'd left my phone in the staff room in my coat pocket and I had my data off, so I couldn't like read the message. I couldn't read the message because I was, you know, busy working. So he was like, oh, your grandma is so annoying. Blah, 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 blah. And and like my sister like didn't know that like my dad was picking me up, that my dad was supposed to be picking me up instead of her. She just got a text like, my grandma just texted saying like, hey, can you pick Poppy up? And she was like, yeah. So because she literally finished like either yesterday, no, she's not in on Thursdays, like either Wednesday or today for Easter break, because she's a teacher. So she like was like, yeah, I'll pick her up. So like she didn't know that like my grandma hadn't told my dad. She didn't know that like my dad was like supposed to be picked up. So anyways, I think we then called our, did we call grandma next? I think we did. We said like, oh, did you not tell dad that like, hey, Holly's picking up? And she was like, I didn't know your dad was supposed to be picking you up. Which the thing is though, my dad is the one that usually picks me up at work and picks me up from work. And she was like, oh, I didn't know whether he was in work or not, and blah 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 blah. Which is like, you know, kind of fair enough. Like if he doesn't tell you that he's not in work, then it's like whatever. But then also, if he didn't, because my dad is usually not up before like 12. He tends to like work like later in the day. So my grandma just assumed that he was in work, that he couldn't. But like, why not? If he didn't tell you that he didn't tell you whether or not he was in work, why don't you just text him anyways, saying like, hey, sister is picking you up, Polly's picking Poppy up from work. So yeah. And it was just like, I mean, it was just like whatever. So yeah, my dad had just been like literally sat or waiting for me to go out of work. Like I think he had just got there by the time like we had already left. So yeah. What other stories have I got since Monday? The last time I streamed was Monday, and it was only a half an hour stream. Obviously I didn't stream on Wednesday because I worked Wednesday, and then almost immediately after I got home, well, not immediately, like an hour after I got home, we played Stardew in Sugar's Discord. I could have done a shorter stream. I could have done like a half an hour long stream, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do a short stream. I mean, I'll probably be streaming Monday. I don't know if I'll be streaming Wednesday next week, but I want to do a longer stream on Monday. I'll probably do, I don't know what I'll stream actually. I might put it up to a poll. With The Sims, I'm not too bothered about playing that because I'm doing like quite a few Sims videos on YouTube. Not in the Henson family, but like, I mean, maybe I could do a Sim stream. Maybe, and like play a couple of days. Or I could actually try and get the bar done on Ozwork. Or I could play Sticky Business and play through more of the DLC, because I still have not finished the DLC. I still have quite a few of the achievements left of the story things. I think I might have gotten like 1 or 2 achievements. Maybe last stream, whenever I last streamed Sticky Business, which was like over in January. Last played March 3rd. No, the only reason I last played it March 3rd was that I opened it to set up my OBS settings. When was the last time I actually got an achievement? January 26th. And that was one achievement. So I still have I still have 6 achievements left to get in Sticky Business. So either I play it on Monday or I next play it over the summer, which will be in May. I finish uni in May. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I want to get more into this case because I'm going to do the first 2 parts of the trial and then maybe we'll go for the recess. The recess will probably be quick. It will probably be like 5 to 10 minutes. The recesses are usually short. And then on Sunday, we'll try and get this case finished because we'll have part 3 and 4 of the case to get through. So, yeah. I actually managed to change my game capture to Great Ace this time. Okay, load game. Trial part 1. Yes. Let us go. Let's go. When I awoke the following morning, Psssttt-san was already gone. Oh shit, yeah, she left for Japan, didn't she? Oh yeah, and so video of the week. I've kept forgetting to tell you guys this. Last week it was... What was it last week? I don't remember what it was last week. I know it was a good video. I know I remember and really enjoying the video. I will have to look it up in my video essays playlist. Because I remember it last week. Oh shit, yeah. I was gonna check Lizzie's channel in case I forgot to... Oh no, wait, I did watch her last video. Her last video was like 4 weeks ago, a month ago. Jeez. SOS started a month ago. That does not feel real at all. I thought I only started like 2 weeks ago. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I need to watch her video that she was like 15 minutes ago, literally right as I started streaming. What was last week's? So I didn't announce last week's. That's my watch later, not my video essays playlist. Video essays. There we go. I'm gonna load it up. Let's try the bottom and I have 141 videos to get through. It was a Schnee video. I remember really enjoying it. How Miyazaki Writes Women. That was last week's. And I think the week before was the Deep Law. Was it the Deep Law of the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience? I think that was the week before, and then the week before that was the Franziska von Karma retrospective. This week's is Mamma Mia is an absurdist masterpiece by media processing. They also did like a slight follow-up video to that. That's like 9 minutes long, which was also a pretty good video. So yeah, outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. Yeah, so this one we're defending Gina from a murder of... We'll have to go back through the evidence because I do not remember entirely. It was in... Oh, it was the murder of the pawnbroker, wasn't it? Now I'm starting to remember. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, her in the fancy dress. Psssttt or however you say it. I don't know. Ah, Miss Psssttt had to leave early this morning. She's already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Bring her on me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Psssttt and I won't meet again. One day. Even so. But you, Gina. You only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. Oh, it's Iris! And I keep forgetting the cat's name. What is the cat's name? Do we have it in the... No, we don't have... Okay, so, the people we have in our... Okay, so, I'm going to go over the people we have in this case. We have Psssttt, who left who has already left to go take care of Professor Mikatoba, aka her father. Sherlock Holmes, our great detective. Iris Wilson, like the little girl that's living with Sherlock. Sherlock was like the detective partners with Iris's father, John Wilson. Was it John Wilson? Yeah, he was the victim in the very first case, in the tutorial case that we had with Kazuma. And she doesn't know that he's dead yet, which is, I think it's called dramatic. Is it called dramatic irony? It's called Instagram because I forgot to close that. Is it called dramatic irony? I'm gonna look it up. That where the expression of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite. Typically, a literary technique originally using Greek tragedy, by which the full significance of a character's words or actions is clear to the audience or reader, although unknown to the character. So yeah, it's slight dramatic irony, because the thing is, Susato and Ryunosuke, both I think it is called Ryunosuke because is it Ryunosuke or Ryunosuke? Have I been pronouncing his name wrong the entire time for the past over almost 2 months? Because Iris calls him Runo, so which makes me want to say Ryunosuke, but I don't know that sounds slightly wrong because I've been calling him Ryunosuke this whole time. I don't know. But yeah, it's like slight dramatic irony because Ryunosuke. I'm just gonna keep calling Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke and Susato both know that her father is dead. They both know that Wilson is dead, but she does not. She just thinks that, oh, he's got a little trip to Japan. He'll be back. He'll be back eventually. No, he won't. No, he won't. So we all know, except for Iris, that he's dead. And then we have Pop Windybank, who is the victim in this case. He was the pawnbroker in Windybanks, hence the name pawnbroker. And then we have Gina Lestrade, the defendant in this case, and was discovered slightly unconscious next to Windybank. And then we have Edgar Benedict, who is the weirdo we found out Windybank accusing Gina of stealing his redemption ticket of a coat. Obviously of his coat, but obviously it wasn't his coat because it wasn't his size. So yeah, and then there's Tobias Gregson, who is, a lovable detective on this case. And then we have Mail Shonkhart, our Lord Chief Justice. And the Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Van Zeeks, isn't in this yet because we haven't met him in this case yet. Oh yeah. We have the our evidence as well that I haven't gone over yet. So we have the redemption ticket for the box. And it has this picture on the back of a cat. Small box, 10 shillings. This is what we found Iris's manuscript in for the Hounds of the Baskervilles. Not much to talk about the Hound of Baskervilles. It's literally just Iris's manuscript. And then we have Gina's representation papers. And then we have the pawnbroker's ticket for the coat with the blood on it. Who I can't remember whose blood it is. But we'll have a look at the blood stuff in a minute. But yeah, this is for the coat that Gina has. That Gina had for it was for, what was his name now? I will have to look back at my last week's VOD, because I know I put his name in the title of last week's VOD. Oh yeah, the clip compilation for last month I posted. I had post 14 hours ago, so I don't remember, it was at 14 hours ago was 6 a.m. I think. Because I meant to put it as 6 p.m. to, wait, I'm going to just look in my announcement channel to see when it exactly posted, because I can't bother doing the math right now. Yeah, 6 a.m. because I meant to post it for 6 p.m. but I accidentally posted it for 6 a.m. McGill did. It was McGilded's coat that Ginny went to collect. And then here, oh yeah, here's the blood. Here's the blood samples. We used one of Iris's inventions to check compare whose blood it is. So we don't know who this green blood is that was on the calendar next to the door of Windybanks. But we've got this purple blood here. That was Thrice-Fired Masons. He was the victim of the McGilded case of case. Oh god. We have 5 cases in this, right? Yeah, we have 5 cases in this game. The first one was the Wilson case. Case 4 was the Suseki Natsume case, because that was the last case we did. Case 3 was the McGilded case. Oh yeah, case 3 was the McGilded case, and then case 2 was the Kazuma case. Okay. You know, this is weird because this basically implicates McGilded as the victim, even though we got him acquitted, which is why I posted that as the title of the last VOD on YouTube. And then we've got Windybanks blood, which is a blue. And this, oh yeah, this was Mason's blood. Oh yeah, the blood on the coat ticket was Mason's blood, aka the victim in the case where McGilded was the suspect. Then we've got Iris's manuscript of the Hound and of the Baskervilles, and then we've got the McGilded case notes. I haven't had a proper look at these. So, case summary: victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus of the day after a stab wound. To the abdomen. Details of the victim: Mason Milverton. Okay, I thought Mason was his last name, but it's his first name. Occupation: brickmaker. Domicile: East End of London. Trial summary: defendant Magnus McGilded. Barak Van Zieks as the prosecutor. Brunosuke Naruhodo as our defense attorney. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies. However, a surprise 4th witness's testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. But yeah. How are you doing, Ginny? Did you manage to fall asleep? Oh, Wakahai. I forgot his name was Wakahai. Ow. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Oh yeah, he was Natsume's cat. But Natsume went back to Japan and couldn't take him. Ah, Waggy. Great to show your support, Kitty. Let him have a nose around. What harm can it do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Ginny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yeah, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report. So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I think you meant good news relating to the case. I could have given monkeys, really. If only all good news cancelled out the bad. And look, this trial made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. See? How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. You can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will. And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged Diver in Dauntless Do-Gooder. It's not right, Bruno. Oh, yes, let's hope. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Okay, today's paper has been entered into the court record. Let's have a little check that in a minute. Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Thank you, Iris. Let's have a little examine. Ooh, what is this? Beneath on the underside. Ooh. There's a sensational story lower down on the front page as well. Look. Ministry mole, classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Ooh. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of the world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted. How would someone be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Bruno? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could have been. It could be. And it could explain why he has Gregsy running from pillar to post at the moment. Interesting. Interesting indeed. And then we have our little article of this case. Pawnbroker perishes in pit purse plunder. How awful. For Ginny, I mean. But tomorrow's headline would be, Discharged Diver is Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud Pickpocket protects planet post-trial. Perhaps protects planet? Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Good luck then, Bruno. Do I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. Not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering is all, about Sholmes. Did he fix him up alright? Oh yeah, Sholmes okay? I want to know if he's okay. Yes, the operation was a great success. But Hurley hasn't come around yet. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No, Susato-san. I know Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Yes. Let's go, Gina. Iris? Lead the way, Bruno. Let us go. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. God, I feel bad for her. Kazuma! If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that I can't believe it's been what? 3-4 months since Kazuma died? Like in game, of course. Back in the Old Bailey, Ooh, we got some of the same jurors on the jury. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defence to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defence is ready. Lord Van Zeeks. My lord? Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, Then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. And are some circumstances of which the court should be aware of that have led to this erratic behaviour? It has something to do with Kazuma, surely. These two, Kazuma and Van Zeeks, must have some history together. Because think about it. If you think about it, Lord Van Zeeks expects Kazuma to come over to England and take this case. So, Van Zeeks also takes the case. But then Kazuma dies, and then Van Zeeks doesn't know about that, and then suddenly he is shook. He is kind of shocked that it's not Kazuma, and instead it is, Ryunosuke. Now hold on. In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you deal exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today, you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess to finding more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are two types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. McGilded. It means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out. Thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those willy scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect a total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the far east, the Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that? It means you, Naruno. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, fed by all London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. How many people were in London at this time? It must not have been fucking many. Because look, it's her. She was in a past case. He was in a past case. She was also in the past case. He was in the past case. He's definitely new. He's new, I'm pretty sure. He and him might be new. Maybe not. Did these guys just have the same, 10 jurors on hand? Like, come on. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Former lieutenant in the British Army here, and don't you know, chaps like me were born ready. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely everything. And I'm ready for it. Stereoscopes. The thing we discovered last case. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have? Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Does anyone know Morse code so you can translate that, or is that just absolute waffle? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I'd like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. That guy definitely doesn't know a lot of English. Think of it is. He definitely doesn't know a lot of English because he's just saying that he wants a bus. And it is. I don't. Never mind. Is something wrong, Bruno? Oh, no, exactly. It's just. I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Except for maybe this guy. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Yeah, it's just the same 6 people, or the same few people, like every case. Very well. Now, Lord Van Seeks. Court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. Or maybe they just didn't have enough of a budget to make like new 3D models for like every single juror. Oh shit, what did Van Seek say before that? As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, that there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. Juror number 1 and juror number 3 are already convinced, I'm guessing. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh, I was just thinking that, like, I think what had happened actually is that the Windybank and whoever the accused is, not Gina, whoever the actual murderer is, well, you know, in a little bit of a fight, and Windybank and the actual murderer got his gun out. Windybank, you know, pushed him. The murderer was like, if you get my drift. Hence the diagonal trajectory. What do you say? I keep accidentally skipping it when I click back onto Great Ace Attorney. I click on Great Ace Attorney, then I click on OBS, then I click on Great Ace, and it just skips it. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. And then it has been edited into the court record. Both have been accepted into the court record. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him, a windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present: the accused and the victim. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. Wait, does this case have any more achievements other than like completing it? And like, you know, the shovels and spade and ladders and step ladders. Like, I read every new idea on Norris's Blackboard, but I don't think we're actually gonna get that one because I did look at it last week and it was like, oh, I had missed it. But I think we got one. Did we get one last stream? My achievements. Yeah, for examining the fireplace in Mr. Sholmes' suite whilst with Psssttt in episode 5 of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she had to do to survive. My learned Nipponese friend. It is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious. After that testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pig purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and the firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zeeks. At once, my lord. And they have now been accepted into the court record. I need a drink. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno. I think that's because it has. Let us begin. Throw away your cape already, mate. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on 16th April of this year. With Gregson, naturally, and these two. Surely they couldn't have seen the murder because there was no one else. There would have been no one else in the thing unless they saw a security tape. But then there's not a security tape. It's in the actual storeroom. There's one behind the counter. But then there's a tiny ass window which you wouldn't have been able to see through. And there's also one by the door, I believe. But I don't think there's one in the storeroom. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the call. Names, Nash Skulkin. Occupation is a baddie, professional baddie. Names, Ringo Skulkin. Occupations, same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, who are they called? The three Skulkin brothers. No. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with you lot. God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older brother, bruv. Lost contact with him we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital. Then last night we come across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of him. So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call you Big Bro Skulky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin? That's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Skulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. Why, I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they, these three? Nuh-uh. No, my lord. Begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with these lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. Oh, were they the ones in Windybanks? Were they the ones they were attempting to rob Windybanks? And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say? What an extraordinary coincidence. Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbroker, they witnessed his proprietor's murder. Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Yep, okay. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to. Because the Skulkin's never Skulkin. Get out of it. Gregson is just like, I can't be arsed dealing with these two. Let me just eat my fish and chips in peace. And let me just give my testimony. Illegal entry. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaffs door was ajar, see. It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, God blimey, lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, governor. We never took nothing, we just left after that nice and quiet. Aha! Yeah. Well, there's a blood down the calendar then. A terrible coincidence, it was seen. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, and even more sinister crime as afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. I'm wondering. My brain is kind of wondering. What was the last Apollo Justice case we did? Because the last one that we did that comes straight to my head is the Walkie case. But I don't think the Walkie case was our last one, was it? No. Oh no, it was Turnabout Serenade was our last one. And then the one before that one was the one before that was the Walkie case. Yeah. That was my first time using OBS. So yeah. Okay, what's he saying? What's Van Zeke saying? The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Bruno? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lines being told by the parents stand. And that's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Okay. Okay, let's save first. Let's save before we do our cross-examination. I don't know if we have evidence that says that the lock was like broken into. So let's just leave that one now. It's like some kind of sign that goes. Cold blind and the gunshot in the back of the room. But the door was locked from inside. We never done nothing of them. We never took nothing. Okay. Do we have... We can... Should we present the blood samples? Should we just press them and... Without penalty to use. Should we just press them at first and see what ideas we have? Because Bruno obviously knows. I want to lower my hand so I prove my client's innocent as long as it's quite quick. Never done a thing. Let's see what ours says. Let's see what ours says. What do you think about this pair, Bruno? I think they're lying for their teeth. That's what I think. I'm going to prove it. Where is it, Iris? Well, I'm not really sure. There's just something a bit funny about that prosecutor over there. Wait, could this testimony be some sort of trap? It could be. Let's press them. The front door of Windybanks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1. Right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it was true. Isn't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lump burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. Nah, that is pure conjecture. Ha, perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. Why are you trying to suggest that you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as a whim of thieves, does it? It wasn't no whim, I'm dead sure of that. It wasn't, Nash, it wasn't. Like we said at the time, you don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good at liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke what looks just like our brother. I said, cut it out. Those ships are getting a chomping today. Yeah, exactly. Press him on this one. A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that? Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. Oh, do we press it on this one? Do we give the evidence on this one? It was, Nash. It was. Ain't that right, bros? Firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Windybank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Windybank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true, I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged for the firearm used as the murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful. Okay, let's... They had one gunshot. Let me... yeah, let's... Gunshot. Let's present this. Does it actually? Oh shit, the ad starts in 5 minutes. Shit. I keep forgetting to look at the ads. Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by. And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Eh? I know a petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Oh, well, your turn to rabbit Ringo. Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one or two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the farmer. Alright, somebody just proved I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. What do you think about this pair, Bruno? I think they're lined with their teeth. Oh, did we not press them? Did we accidentally skip over to Iris's little spiel? We probably have still have time before the ad. We can press the last. Ah, shit. Shit. And we only have 2 minutes and 40 seconds till the ad. So, are we going to be able to make it in time? You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? Well, it was bedlam soon as, wasn't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out, me Lucy lockets. So no time to take your hands out of your pockets. You just left nice and quietly, you say. That's right, Governor. Nothing we ate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. Sure. We are, Nash. Never even pulled me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. So, you clearly like us to believe, eh? Come again. As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night. Did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Since alive they fired a gun, you say? Oh shit, they shot her lot. Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway? It was. Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before? You're armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun. At London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes. You shot the great Mr. Sholmes? Did I hear that, actually? There's a rumour he'd been rushed to hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. And they're not suspects in any way, shape or form. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. 30 seconds. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Okay, 1 minute ad. We have a 1 minute ad in a few seconds. 2, 1. Ad time. And while everybody's looking at an ad, I'm gonna look up how long this part is. Adventures of the... because I didn't look at it before. Unspeakable story. That's part of the investigation that we did on Sunday. Why isn't the ad starting? Okay, should start the ad. There we go. Ad break for a minute. Okay. So, okay. We have the testimony and the cross-examination. Then we have the jurors stuff with the defense rebuttal. And then we have the trial part 2, which I see, yeah, this is the whole like bit. So yeah, this is the longer bit. So we have how many cross-examinations? We have 2 cross-examinations and some more judicial findings and some more judicial stuff. And then then we have the recess in the middle. So yeah. Okay, people should be coming back from an ad soon. Yeah. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone coming back from the ad. Okay. Now my learned Nipponese friend. Yes. Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Well, I don't need evidence. Yeah, you do, because I was there. However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. Yeah. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windy Banks that night. It must be the blood stuff. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that the witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker shop that night? The blood samples. It must be the blood samples fired at the calendar. The evidence in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered that a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analysed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? What is that? Explain. It is a photographic print taken at Windybank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yeah. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Nah. Yaha. Yaha. Order. How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks? Yeah, how do you stand, Van Zeeks? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal you weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sophie, said the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, didn't he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent to their crimes. It would seem now that I owed my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks? As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, If that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and the victim. Ah. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So that's it. That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Nash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let's not forget, attempted murder. So glad. I'm so glad this game calls witnesses out on their perjury. Cause that is what annoyed me about witnesses in the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Because the only time they got called out was in trials and tribulations. Literally not in Justice for All at all, or the first Phoenix Wright, as far as I remember. And that's also kind of what annoyed me as well with repeat witnesses. Witnesses that were involved with multiple cases, such as Laura Hart and Wendy Oldback. Those two repeatedly lied in multiple cases, or just, didn't tell the whole truth, and, got away scot-free, basically. And I remember Laura having doing quite a lot of this, but I'm pretty sure Wendy also did a lot of perjury as well. Quite a catalog, fellas. Going for it now, bruv. Now then, let's take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. The two of the man patronised the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appeared to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Eccentric since who? Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop. Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. Why is that, counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. 8:30, 9:30. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. See, these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of friar tuck, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves the skulking. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? Must have been just after 1. Right, bruv? Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment, it went off. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let's examine the evidence. Good lord. It's the defendant. Miss Gina Lestrade. Oh shit. Oh shit. As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured gun in hand facing the victim over a shop counter. Maybe that was just one of the many things in the pockets though. Maybe that was actually McGilded's gun. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel. The photograph of Gina has been added to the court record. Ah, I don't believe it. Ginny. In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. I say, my lord. Wonder if I'm not putting a word in at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a belly bullet to the knee in the Battle of May 1, 1880, don't you? Don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefields. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and? What exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now leading the small squadron, 6 men of the two. And we'll all go down together. You mark my words. One for all and all for one. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Garadeb squadron position, sir. What? No. Is it too soon to make a statement here? What did he say? It's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report from the court men on the double. His lordship insists on the promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too. I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Now I'm going to say guilty. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Yep.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph, it must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Ginny didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation and examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my champs. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Judicial findings. All the evidence clearly points to the finger of guilt and this young pickpocketeen. As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in the stereo, the truth will pop out. If I have left it in there, I should think there will be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdicts to follow. Stop. In Motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. Oh. The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, close on the inside, in which the victim and the accused were not discovered alone, and in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. take it from a take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young that young girl's on the verge of pulling the valley trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, how these cameras are supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. Which means there's more to this situation than we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. I think Ryunosuke. I think Naruhodo is the first, or like one of the only. It's like probably the first, I think, ace attorney character, like the main defense attorney, who has a full body model, like a full body sprite. Cause like we have like full body like art or like concept art and like art of like Nia and Phoenix, for example. But we don't have like full body sprites of them in game. The only one that I know we definitely, and I'm only talking about Mia and Phoenix from the OG trilogy. And I don't think we have one for Apollo or Kristoff. We don't have one for Apollo or Kristoff, I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not sure of Athena, but I don't think we have one. A full body one for Athena. But I know that we have definitely one. Like, I've never seen a full body sprite for any of the Apollo Justice. I don't have I've never seen an Apollo Justice. Apollo Justice, like full body sprite. But obviously we see the full body sprite for Ryunosuke pretty regularly.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. Maid's work is never done. No blemish must remain. What exactly do you mind by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpurses, and craftsmen. The scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps? Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those backslums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the Great Detective working to achieve these important goals. Eugenics? Much? You're referring to Mr. Sherlock Sholmes? That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Grant's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London Street. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes, a maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it might just be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective. That contradicts this guy's statement.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good lord. Counsel, explain yourself. Oh my statement contradictory. Contradict. C-O-N. Juror number 6. You've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick. I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulking brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Sure you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear? Abdomen. A-B-D. Sir? Sorry. My English is still learning. Yeah, as we said earlier. You are telling the court you didn't hear. Forgive me. I did not hear. Our hair is word abdomen, part of a person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say it in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. You thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before we never done nothing. But the truth is they shot detective. That. This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lies said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means when they say we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough, I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate the crime scene by myself. Yes, what did he say? What did he say? I'm afraid that won't be part. Yes, it is, easily. Sorry. With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder. If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor! Calling the prosecution in the middle of a submission examination of all times. I'm pretty sure the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulking brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after Hurley was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. They're not good. They shot a man! You're right, I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers are alive. I think it is very important to continue trial. Yeah. Yay! Well done, winner. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. I don't think they understand who he's saying is not guilty. Because I think he's thinking that the brothers are on trial, when it's actually Gina. And there must be more in what these jurors are saying that can use to expose the truth. If we can do that, we might just turn the situation in our favour still. Thank you, counsel. Continue the summation examination. I kindly hand in that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Post-shooting photograph has been entered into court record. Another print in the court record. I don't know if we can make use of that. Maybe. Maybe it's one of those stereoscopic prints. Let me have a quick look. See. We have the photograph of Regina as well that we haven't. Oh, we haven't. Oh, it's not one of those we can flip. So we have flip the candle. We have this. We have Big Man here. We have Big Man Windybank and Big Man Regina. We have photograph. We have these. Okay. Let's examine this. Nothing. Oh, I know. This was broken though. This was broken. So no, don't think anything was stolen necessarily, but this proves that they were there almost.
Hold it!
Sorry, video transmission. What do you mean? I'm from the Far East. Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. Our communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. But now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You're well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airways to four corners of globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. I mean, she's not too far off. Right. Try to not wear out your fingers. Areas of wireless technology. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys. Huh.
Excuse me.
Huh. Drone number 3 with his makeshift stereoscope. Drone number 3? Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but what? Do you perhaps have something to say about drone number 5's last remark? And I need to fucking stretch. Jesus fucking Christ. Do you perhaps have something to say about drone number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you better do. Say it again. Go on. I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think you just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys for you, huh? Absolutely. I mean, really, are machines to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your own eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. Wow, great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are now of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What's our possibilities? Well, take a crime scene for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you'd never even noticed before. What? Have you got any prints we can look at through a stereoscope? We do actually. How about this print here? It should be a good trick, I think. We have these ones. We have these ones. Oh.
Take that!
This one would fit better. And I'm just gonna quickly check. Alright then, drone number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken within the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic prints work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that's really important. So what happened if you use 2 photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene 3-dimensionally anyway. Oh. Of course, now I see. I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Reno. Go on. Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them? Yeah, that these two are not in this one. Of course there is. There are two people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away. But now, try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So, to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap. Exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes, I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Let's have a little look. Wait. This here. Are we not going to do it for us? Well, did you manage to see it properly, do we know? Yes, I saw it. Ah! What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter they sort of jump out of you. Oh, the cell is shifted. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's it, you see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes, you see. Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic here? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that? I'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope? As I said before, if you try to look at the two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's a slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Now who would fire there, sir? Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What, me? Having the first idea? You know, Reno, it's quite simple. It is? Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 AM. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken, but the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers. Someone tampered. New information. Stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. And that is Skulkin Brothers. It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin Brothers. Wait, this does not agree with what Brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have the time to pull Jukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says Jukes is meaning hands and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. Well, but is this another lie? Is this what you're saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's quite perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defender was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. Skulker brothers have admitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a perk purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulker brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she is a pickpocket, would it not be at least right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair. We've got two more people on our side. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. We have three people, half and half. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop. 4. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favour. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury leaves without consensus, and I order this trial to continue. Yay, well done. Oh, by the way, what? You should hold on to this, Reno. You never know when it might come in to useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. Okay, we gotta keep it. Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. And we won't stop in either. We've got to defend Gina. We've got to. Anyways, guys, I need to take a little break. I will run a 3-minute ad. That's the max ad I can run. I'll save it here. I'll be like max 5 minutes. Before we enter part 2 of the trial, and the probably final part we'll do today. We might do the recesses since that won't take as long. But yeah, break time with a 3-minute ad. welcome back. I forgot I turned my microphone down as well as my mic source. Maybe I need to. No, that should be fine. That should be fine. A fine little level. I feel like I'm very quiet. Feel. Okay. Okay. Let's get back into this case. We have trial 2. We have the second part of the trial, and then that should be it. That should be it. And oh, we don't have any more. I don't need to run any more ads now. Not even a pre-roll for the next 3 hours, and we won't be live. We probably won't be live for another 3 hours. Let's be honest. We're only doing another part of the trial, and that's it. And maybe the recess, but I don't know if I'll do the recess today or on Sunday because I am working morning shift tomorrow. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. So the brothers, the Skulking brothers, and Gregson. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov. I did. Mr. Skulkin. Core, blimey. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks. Well, it was bedlam soon as, wasn't it? It was, Nash. It was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me not Lady Lockets, Lucy Lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers. Cool, blimey. On the night in question, we rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing at the start. How do you figure that out? You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. We hear you. We'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll peach. Witness testimony. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see, made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lumiere didn't half give me a fright. We was thinking the chute would come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see. We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defence's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransacked, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't he make us sound a bit more cutthroat? It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Windybanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Cross-examination. Do you out for the cross-examination stuff, like the cross-examination banners? So cool. Now it's time for us to save. Now it's time for us to save again. Then...
Hold it!
So what you're saying is... the sound of the gunshot shot you so much, you knocked all those things off the counter. Well, it shot to one of us that much. Yeah, this bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, alright, but blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang. Big brother screamed like a believing baby and fell all over the counter. He knocked over a load of books and a candlestick and some school whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them stairs on the floor. You really mastered working quietly then. Whoa, Racky, me granny would have been scared back into a grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some, I mean, it was quiet as a mouse and then all of a sudden, blam. You good there, Gregson? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony? You seem to react just now what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas in to the yard for questioning last night, and the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Oh? Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, fair fellas. If I discovered the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forcing to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy. We'll get it right this time. That's it, yep, it's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable mind, sirs. Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." Huh. Huh. Look, well, all the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired it, so yelling at the girl. Huh. Aha.
Objection.
Aha. Aha. You said that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. We've got the picture. Yes, Nash. Yes, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not in possession of a firearm of any description. You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Ah. Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue the cross-examination, counsel, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses. A skulkin's never skulking. just looking through what we do right now.
Hold it!
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously? We did, Gov, we did. Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we had a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun. Bam. Kind of thing. A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was. From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank. On me Granny's life, of course it was. On his Granny's life, of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice. So that would mean what? What, Nash? What? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel. Indeed it would. Nah. We didn't even know that. We didn't know the geezer. How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke in all the fancy club has given us the evil eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On my granny's life, it is. On his granny's life, it must be. Scotch up his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voices of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them all over the shop floor. You're making it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tidied up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, look who was holding the gun, so it must have.
Objection!
So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture. He has, Nash. He has, no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no questions that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that Mole Tula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam. Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. If the crime had taken place as you've so colourfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, Counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend. Let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal in the final moments? Well, he wasn't shot in the eye, though. It was...
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of, "Give me the gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, also we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it means that at the moment of the death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I could ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Windybank was in fact shot from behind. Ah. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony. Inconsistency time, yeah. But it's God's honest truth. It is, Nash. It is. When he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you just right now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a gun. Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which would only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulker brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash, Order. Witnesses, explain yourself at once. Well, the thing is, it wasn't supposed to, it would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that a false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we, cut it out, Nash, cut it out. If we blab now, you know what it will do to us. Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There's no other option available to you. Bruv, come on, the game's up. But we all have our guts for Garter. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will always come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, do we have to? Yes. On pain of death. I suggest that you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Another witness testimony. Alright, so we just got inside the gap and he heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop? Well, yeah. Sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes what? I skipped it too quickly. This changes matters considerably. But Governor, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more than to hide. Very well. Counsel for the defence, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. encounter with the victim. Let us save first though. Let's save first. Which one do we click, chat? Which one do we press? Let's just see.
Hold it!
I don't trust that. You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing, Governor, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. We know it was because we tried to open it. Well, it's a decent door, that one, good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. Ah. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel? I don't really know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Winterbank? That could have been. It could have been. Mr. and Mr. Scorpion. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did. What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windybank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question who shot the man could there be? Counsel. You must now provide the answers to the court in respect of two conundrums. 2, my lord, twice as many as the chances to invite, maybe. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Reno? I'm not entirely sure. There's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it will change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answer to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where the person could have fired the gun. In here. From in the storeroom. Wait, no. No. Let's reset the question. Can I load up that save? No, I cannot. Let's fix at a time.
Take that!
I'll have to restart this. Because I think about it wrong. What your answers to that show? Is that your own position in this episode as those in the game plan? Council. Answers are clearly flawed. We lost a penalty for that, but I knew it. It's twice as many chances to be wrong. So the questions are, from where did the culprit shoot the victim from, and where was the victim at the time? Well, you have to at least choose a place that's outside the storeroom, don't you? Oh, I mean, if you're saying that someone shot Mr. Windybank from inside the storeroom, they'll just have to say it was Ginny. You're right. What's the best move here? Should I try again or gather more information first? Try again. Let's try again. The defense would like to point out the locations again. Well. You appear to be a glutton for punishment. So now, time for some clarity. Should the court understand the answers to the questions posed by his lordship? Here.
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? Right here.
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulking brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled my gun on him and then he legged it through the door in the back room. If Mr. Windybank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? I'm going to turn up my mic a little bit, slight little bit. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means that the victim was likely shot by someone significantly short in height. Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course. He would have been leaning forward as... Oh my god. He was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windybank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside, claiming the victim was shot as he fled into the storeroom. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key into the lock? But we're not claiming that, no. What if someone else locked the door? Yeah, exactly. Yes, there's someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defence's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shot and locked the storeroom door from inside? The only person it could have been. Our defendant, Gina Lestrade. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel? Yes. That's a tricky one, that, isn't it? Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please. But of course, Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does. Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could, I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Mr. Strayed and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have had the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then probably only moments later the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where you're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as a thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You've gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We never shoot no one. You shot Herlock? That's blatantly not untrue. I knew for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. Well, what does this leave us? You would say it wasn't a pickpocket, but Chuck's bomb broke after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. Luxuries of dense forest. It was two. That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they have to give a verdict or not. What, Van Zeeks? An admirable effort, my learned friend. What is this? What's this now? He's laughing. You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeeks? I myself find the defence's argument most persuasive. I dare say, such chinery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious, conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than an inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward is so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Because you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? You mean to tell me that you're unaware of your own logic's failing? I say, Lord Van Zeeks, might be an idea to explain this belly conjuring trick, or whatever it is, to the troops on the ground, eh? The fatal flaw is my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. By George, count bullets? Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir? Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene. Two bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ended his life, and the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident, the revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulking Brothers revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my lord friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Sherlock Holmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if the single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means that they couldn't have shot Windybank. Windybank not shot by the same gun, stopped, only one bullet stopped. Exactly. Yes, the Snippity's street performer presented an ostensibly incredible argument, however. It was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Alright. Order. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Lord Van Zeeks. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Jean Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She's a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond a doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with this murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc. I'll be taking that wherever it is on McGilded down to the yard, thank you very much. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc, Mr. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might have to add, but by brute force and embrazened impudence. Good gracious. Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crimes she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take the music box disc into evidence counsel. As grim Lord Van Zeeks, Inspector Gregson. What? Yes, Inspector? We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that that desk wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is this inspector acting strangely? Yeah, why is Gregson acting weird? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting, but those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and business of character. There's nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once for all 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Bruno. My lord. Wonder if I might say something at this point? Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if the truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer is barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. I'm gonna take my headphones off. For a little bit. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 They've all come back to guilty now. So, yeah. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. How dare you use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? The RDM squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. You don't need to talk to us like you're in the fucking army. This is a court of law, jeez. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty. I'm describing that I am going to quickly check before we finish this case off, because we're quite close to finishing actually. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. What is he rambling on about? The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a business day ahead. I am a ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Was that guy the actual murderer? It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in the back. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more. The whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair. Iris? That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done some things she shouldn't have to have done things in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. You're being a bit mean, Zeeks. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yep. Yes, my lord. Oh my god, my back is so, and my shoulders are so fucking scratchy. So fucking itchy, I swear to god. We need to save while we're doing this jury duty thing. The defense's rebuttal. Save. Don't have to go back all the way to 10:49:44, which is 10 minutes ago now. I'm guessing the autosave saves like every 10 minutes, or whenever like a big thing happens. I think I know which one I want to press upon. What are you going on about, mate?
Hold it!
Would you please stop worrying about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. I'm going to turn my mic on a bit. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it is nothing to do with this trial, honestly. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been worrying about all this time, you are operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Hurlich? No. Herlock? No. Herlock? Herlock Sholmes, by any chance? Yes, good lord. It was that Herlock fellow. Herlock. You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes? That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major operation, I can tell you. This is crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb. I couldn't find the bullet anywhere, so I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. Yeah, in the calendar. The counsel for the defense is correct, as it clearly shows in this photographic print. Yeah, exactly. It's right next to the... it's right near the... it's literally in the calendar. The bullet that the Skulker brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him within the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop window where they saw the calendar was hanging out by the door. I mean, but... I'm tired. But yeah, even if Herlock was shot though, wouldn't have been like much lower down, because Herlock isn't that tall. Wait, let me look up. How tall is Herlock Sholmes? How tall is Herlock Sholmes? 178 centimeters. Okay, how much is that in 178? 2 feet. 5'8". Okay. He's 5'8". But would that mean the bullet did get in or not? I think you'll find it really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. Ooh, who do you think I am, son? Well, during and thought is about the best I can do. As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake. Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did. There wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all. What? That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. What is exactly why I set about slicing him up. And I'm none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? Yeah, we'll solve it. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. Let's see. Pit them against each other.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Ooh, a ballistics expert. Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Jones was shot by one of the Skulking brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, I need to put my phone back on charge in a minute. A bullet was found in the wall of the store where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Velan. Pleasure to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away mountain road in freezing cold. Golly. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note: don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I heard today from Doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullets hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from the lump of ice and pierced my body. It made a deep wound that looks just like bullet hole. Good gracious. Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mysterious mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop. And not some snowy mountains road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Yes, I sometimes take my glasses off like this. Reno. Where exactly was Hurley shot again? And just so you know, guys, I am actually short-sighted and not, like, completely dependent on these. I can see short distances. Well, according to this report, his stomach sort of around this area, I think. That's precisely where he was. That's precisely where he always was. Was a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have not noticed something like that. Yeah, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he used in his investigations. What, really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes is wearing? Well, that fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I can remember. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks? When I realized it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform from the defense that I have a pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived at the scene and found Mr. Sholmes inside, injured, they removed the pouch in order to access the wound. Ah, thanks. Thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Instead, it has been my safekeeping along with all other evidence related to this case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Look at that. One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scotched black. It's almost as if the file exploded. So, that night, the bullet from the Skulking Brothers gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was the glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into a wall of shops. No, you absorbed it. A delightfully complex aroma. Your wine. What a thank me, Von Zeeks. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved, at least. Oh god, I'm tired, but I want to get this part of the trial done. There is no bearing on the truth of this case. The burgling and burgling brothers shot the detective dead. Shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of this case remain unaltered. But at least the mystery itself, I can eat, sleep. What do you say? I can sleep easy tonight. Oh my god, I have such a itchy fucking back. I swear to fucking god, it is annoying. Thank you, young man. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence. Hell's pouch isn't scruffy. Sure, keep telling yourself that. Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion. Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue. You can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around somehow. I'm sure of it. I have ID. Let's see our evidence. Let's have a little look. See. Not people. Evidence. Examine. It's really scotched just here, badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken. Look. This must be where the bullet hits then. Let me see. Oh god. It's broken. Just a little bit broken though. Just a little bit. What do you do? Is there anything else in here? Not people. Examine. Not that. Not our armband. This. Didn't examine this first time, did we? It's really scotched just badly here. Oh yeah, we did. Shit, what's that? What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it? the Skulking Brothers bullet. Or struck a look that I hit his pouch. That's an amazing, what to say? Amazing discovery? What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windy Banks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's now time to press that juror again, I think. Yeah, we need to show her that our 3rd bullet. And the 3rd bullet. No, not that. I'm still trying to get used to this. Oh, I need to go to the.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. I don't want to read through all this. Let me just get this silly little case done. So reconsider my position. If I had bullets somewhere in the scene, could that be possible? I can prove it. I'll show you then the 3rd bullet.
Take that!
Take that. Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in the Windy Banks pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was received from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to the hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say that the shots fired by the Skulking Brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know that the whereabouts of the bullets fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ah. 2 guns from the scene had already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, Mr. Windybank. Yes, that of Mr. Windybank and that belonging to the Skulking Brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Ah. But that must mean that's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene, and with that incontrovertible inconsistency somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Order. While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundation upon which the case against the defendant has been built. My brain is really silly. As my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination by Jupiter. What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Okay, I have one more little bit to get through, and then we shall be done. Witnesses. Governor, were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make by that? Make of it, Gov? What do you say? God damn it, Baron Baziques. I don't know if I didn't make nothing or nothing if I can help it. Sure. Yeah, but one of your good friends. God blimey, Gov. God blimey. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? Never the Skulking brothers work alone. It's just the two of us. That's our only trademark. I need to put my phone on. I need to put my phone on charge. How about we forget poor Suki? Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. A third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy, that's an edge scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Good. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's time to clear up what this book tells us about the Skulking brothers. How about they had another gun? Simple. On that night at Windybank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been in possession of another gun. We know that only 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms already in the court record. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that the brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun. I have an itchy nose. I swear to fucking God, I always get an itchy nose on stream. An accomplice, you say? Piglow. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has not been a murmur of a third man. Is this apparently wraith-like being exists? The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence, that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. The Skulkings are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're trying to hide? Well, counsel, I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is ready to present answers. The defense is ready. I believe I can prove all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nepalese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene? Well, the only one we have is the blood samples, because we have one unanalyzed. Well, not unanalyzed. That's not the greatest word to say. Not the greatest. Not the most appropriate one, even. Not the most appropriate one. I was gonna say. What? But like, you know, an unknown blood sample, and there's no one else that we can really base it off of. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? This one here. Because we know these ones. That was, you know, thrice fired Mason. And that was Top Windybank. So this first one must be, you know, this third person. What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain. Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some inhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Sherlock Holmes. By the great detective. New invention. Stop. Not yet hidden stories. Stop. It's this, you see? It doesn't have a name yet though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its colour. You can tell I'm tired, can't you? Different elements of people's blood? Yes. Everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what colour it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Ooh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in a courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank. Ah, a striking blue. Yes, so you see, the green colour of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now, hold fire then. Now hold fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the day on which Mr. Windybank was killed. By golly. Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulking brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the bloodstain of somebody else, the third intruder in fact. I want to have a look at something. This, the music box this that we got earlier. There's this. I saw a bloodstain on it. But we haven't examined it until now. Oh, Runa, look. This is blood. Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Aha, then this is my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. Alright, hold still with that desk window. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash. What colour is it? Green. So it's our third intruder. It's blood. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that colour. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that colour, is it? Blood sample. It has been updated. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact. Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. We can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? I'm just thinking this guy. He's been sus from the start. The man's name is Edgar Benedict. Edgar Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, counsel? He paid a visit to Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Edgar Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box discs too. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc. Can you corroborate this account, Inspector? Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And the interests of being thorough, I asked Windybank for a print showing the seller. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder governesses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning. And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice? Well, Mr. Skulkin? Never seen the geezer before in my life. On my life, never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nibonese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yeah, exactly. Then shows the evidence. I agree, we must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start, but now I'm going to drag it, kicking and screaming from the courtroom. Can we call upon this guy? See. What did he say? What did he say? Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel? Yes, my lord, the defense will present the evidence now. Proof that it was, in fact, the person struck by a third bullet. What? I have no idea. Let's see. Maybe this?
Take that!
As I mentioned before, in the afternoon of the days in question, the defendant attempted deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks, which is when the aforementioned Agate Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Well, of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Nah, that's not very stylish though, is it? With like rips along the seams and that. But wait a minute, that disc? Yeah, I still have no idea what is on the disc like at all, other than blood. But you know, it's mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drunk blood, you filthy animal. I should really note down more like random quotes for this. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a blood stain, is it? Yep, blood stain. My assistant and I have just analysed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty Fokker gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. say? It's green. It's exactly the same colour as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Edgar Benedict, who was in Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice. He was present at the scene of the crime that same night. So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now, they're sweating buckets. Why? Who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Edgar Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence. This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you said, yes. Sherlock Holmes, you say, yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. I've got a detention of sorts. Why are you slanting Sherlock? Why are you slanting my mate Sherlock, eh? And now you enjoy chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court of the land? Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a light, I should agree. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world could turn the same colour. Ah, well. I pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Ah. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' I don't know what he means, he's great contender. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention wasn't going to be recognised by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. Ah, in other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief. What did you just say, young girl? And in a summation examination, the decision to whether or not the trial continues is in the hand of the 6 jurors, is it? So, the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yeah, she's right. I was looking the wrong arrow key then. Young lady, you have quite a devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about what you would say? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shrewd precise of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court will now look to you for your final leanings in the matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. Yes, yes. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
not guilty. So we have 4 not guilty and 2 guilty. The 2 guilty being the doctor, the old doctor guy, and the transmission person. 2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination. My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Eckert Benedict, is quite clearly false. Don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove. Oh God! Oh my God! I'm tired. Prove the man was there that night, but you don't know who the fuck he is. Could I say something? Who was that? Please, who spoke? It was me, my lord. Juror number 5. What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Me, ma'am. I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again. The one in which the gentleman is shown. Ah, right, yes. This one you mean? Or Mr. Benedict? Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What? No. Good gracious. Order. Juror number 5, how on earth? I am a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see, yeah. The gentleman in the photograph is, stop, also a communications officer, stop. He works in my office, stop. Ooh. A very talented operator, in fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now, stop. Tapping away on a telegram, stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zeeks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. To be continued. Now, do you believe? Let me have a look what we save. Let me have a quick look what it says. Save. Trial part 3. Okay. So, we shall end it there. We shall continue with trial part 3 and trial part 4 on Sunday. save because we just save and yes. But yeah, we shall return to this on Sunday when I'm back playing more, and I probably might play something on Monday as well. I'm not sure about Sunday. No, I'm not sure about next Wednesday. Whether we're starting or not, but I will definitely be live next Monday. And anyways, we are going to do a cheeky little raid out. We're gonna go raid Scooby again. She's playing a Simpsons game. She's playing Simpsons Hit and Run. So anyways guys, I shall see you guys on Sunday. Yeah, we should see you guys on Sunday. Remember that all my socials are in the panels, or they are sent out in the command every half an hour to an hour. I can't remember how long it takes. I can't remember, but it's like every half an hour to an hour during streaming. I have a few things. I posted a few things today on Instagram, and I need to send out the raid message and send it over to the screen. But yeah, I posted a few things on Instagram today, just some sim stuff. I might post an edit tomorrow to Instagram. Depends if I post the edit I want to post. Depends if I post that edit onto TikTok as well. But anyways guys, this VOD will be up on YouTube Sunday morning. I'm gonna try and upload it like every day and a half, 2 days afterwards. So for example, this will go up on Sunday morning. The Sunday VOD will be then uploaded on Tuesday morning, and then the morning VOD will be not morning VOD, the Monday VOD will be uploaded on Wednesday morning. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed the stream, and go and enjoy Scooby stream. Bye bye.